So Konami just released a brand new Utopia structure deck into Duel Links, and to go with it, we have the KC Grand Tournament Celebration, which gives us a copy of Ultimate Leo, and a brand new ONOMATS skill to play with. Wait, a brand new ONOMATS skill? Now I know we had a bit of an incident a while back with a tier 0 monstrosity deck that was created via an ONOMATS skill, but don't worry, Konami were a little bit more careful this time, so you don't have to worry about any of them NARM flashbacks. At least, not yet. There's a pretty good chance they may release some more ONOMATS support in the next upcoming box, which is a pretty scary thought considering this deck already can do some pretty damn terrifying things. So here's today's deck list. Now just a reminder before I go through the list, apparently only about 30% of the people that watch my stuff are actually subscribed to the channel. That means 70% of the people watching this video aren't actually subscribed. So if you do enjoy this kind of content, want to see more content like this, or just find it useful in any way, please do consider subscribing to the channel down below. I am like 2,000 subs off of 70k, so I'd really appreciate the support in hitting that milestone. Alright, let's get into the deck list. So as per normal, I won't be going through every individual card in the deck list right now, as it's much easier for me to go through them as I just play them during the gameplay. But I will give you a brief rundown on what this deck is trying to do. So this deck is built around the brand new skill Zexal Ultimate Unite, which has two effects. The first is by paying half your life points, you can swap out any Gagaga monster you have on the field for one of 3 Gagaga monsters: Magician, Girl, or Onomatopoeia. The second part of the skill can only be used if your life points are 2000 or below. At the start of your turn, your character will transform into Zexal. At this point, you can activate your skill. This will allow you to take any of your Utopia Rays you have on the board and use them as Seize material to instantly go into Ultimate Leo Utopia Ray. Now this skill is actually really damn good, as it basically turns any of your Gagaga Sisters into Exceeds monsters of any rank from level 1 all the way up to 10. This means you can summon things like Forward Focus, you can summon things like your Zombiestein, things like Giant Grinder, even just a simple Malevolent Sin, all from just one card, and you'll see that combo during the gameplay. The only downside to this little combo though, is that it does force you to use only number monsters or Utopia monsters, as that's one of the skill's requirements, but the fact you can summon just any of these massive boss monster boys at any time you like, all from just one card, is a pretty nutty thing. The other major benefit of this skill is of course it makes it exceptionally easy to summon Ultimate Leo, which in Duel Links is an absolutely bonkers card. This card once per turn can attach a material to equip one CW monster from your deck or extra deck to this card, which includes cards like Pegasus, which is a nice little negate, you have Tornado, which makes your Utopia untargetable, and of course it has the card that's given to you via the skill, which when equipped to your monster will just give it 3000 plus attack, which makes this guy a really big boy. Also, this card when it is equipped with a monster as a quick effect, you can target one effect monster your opponent controls, negate its effects, and if you do, half that monster's attack. And that's a permanent negate, so they cannot, even when the turn ends, that monster's effects will still be negated and its attacks will still be halved. Alright guys, that's going to do it for the decklist portion of the video. The rest of the video will be gameplay with commentary showcasing this decklist in action, and without further ado, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, today I have 4 replays to show you guys, all of which were only recorded in Platinum, which I know isn't exactly the greatest rank, but don't let that fool you. My win rate in Platinum with this deck was exceptionally good. I know at one point I was on an 8-game win streak or some shit, so don't let that fool you. This deck list is easily coggable. If you took this into Legend, there's no shot this deck wouldn't have a decent win rate as well. I wouldn't say it's top tier or anything, but it's definitely a good enough deck list for King of Games, especially with the potential for new support coming soon in the next upcoming boxes. Alright, so let's get into it. So this is against a Harpy player. First thing we do is we summon our sister, searching for our revenge. Ultimate Unite, paying half our life points to swap out our sister for the Gagaga Magician. Magician can then adjust its level to making it level 3. The Revenge can then target the sister we have in the graveyard and bring it back to the board. Sister then matches the levels with the monster on board, or combines them to make them both level 5. So 3 in the 2. We can then Spirit Summon the child straight from hand, which then matches its level with one of your Gagaga monsters on board, also making it level 5. Now keep in mind, this combo can also be done with Pegasus, so if you don't open your child, you open a Pegasus, you can still do this exact same combo. Then we're going to go straight into our Utopia Ray. Vengeance, when sent to the graveyard, will give a bit of attack buff to the monsters on board. Then we can activate our ultimate Leo's effect to search for a ZW monster. In this case, normally you'd search for Pegasus so you have another monster negate on board. But in this case, I know I'm against Harpy, and I know Harpies actually struggle very much with trying to deal with non-target effects, or monsters that are immune to targeting effects, which is what Tornado Bringer does. It makes it so our monster is now immune to targeting effects. And we set a Cosmic. Now, if you're wondering why I'm using Cosmic, by the way, in this deck list, it's because, as you can see, my life points are at 2,000. So if I did this going second, and I used the Cosmic, my life points would be 1,000, and all of a sudden I'd be at a perfect level for using Utopia Ray's effect, wherever that is. Yeah, Utopia Ray. So that's why we use Cosmic over MST, if anyone's just curious. Alright, MST, removing the Hunting Ground before it removes our card. Tries to activate Channeler. Utopia Ray quick effect can negate it and half its attack. Use the Sign, searches for an Egotist. Doesn't go for any summoning though, because nothing he summons will be able to deal with a non-targeting monster. Swaps a turn back, and we get to change ourselves into Zexal. Going full Super Saiyan. And as you can see, by the way, the turn has passed, and this monster is still negated, because it's a permanent negate. Use its effect to search out another ZW monster, in this case we get our Pegasus. So now we have a little negate whenever our opponent activates a monster effect. And this actually leaves us with two negates. This negate, and a non-targeting effect. Summon another monster, swap it out for our thing. Doesn't really matter what we're doing here, because we've already got lethal on board. We're just kind of messing around now. Summon out a Utopia, and then we just swing in. Alright, game 2. So as you can probably tell already, this deck can do some pretty damn nutty stuff. I think the major weakness of this deck is either to back row removal like MSTs or Cosmics, and also the fact that it's very reliant on Sister. You do have starts without Sister, but they generally just revolve summoning out just a Utopia with one negate attached to it, which isn't exactly the strongest sort of an end board. It's not awful, especially if you draw something like if you're running things like Book of Moon in your deck or something, which I'm not, but it's not exactly the greatest. Alright, so this time we just summoned out a Gaga monster, swapped it out for Utopia, Utopic Onomatopoeia, and because we only have one level 4 monster on board, we could summon out Armed Sage. Sage can be used to exceed material, and when it is done so, can search for one of your ZW monsters. So we summon out our Utopia, add a Pegasus to hand, which can special summon itself if you have 2,000 or less life points, and then you can equip it to this monster. This card can just be equipped straight from hand to your monster. So we have one negate and a non-target effect. Pegasus is going to negate that. Summons out a Vega, or searches for a Vega. Gonna pop that back row real quick. And our game, yeah, the game's probably already won from here, but just because we can. Could do a little bit of BMing as well. So Gagaga Sister, searching for our Revenge. Revenge, special summon back the Gaga monster. Summoning back our Gagacoat. Turning it into a level 6, and making a Force Focus. Swing it in, and he's very, 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 very dead. Alright. Game number 3. I think one of the other major advantages of being able to summon this new Utopia monster is that it will give you a quick effect negate that's target, and it will give you a monster negate that isn't target, which is basically covering 2 grounds, so makes it easier to kind of target monsters for negates, and when they activate a monster effect that is really annoying because they try to like chain block or do annoying stuff, at least you can avoid the chain blocks with the target negates, and you can avoid the immune to targeting effect monsters with your non-target negate. Alright, so same combo as you saw before, summoning out Utopia, searching for Bringer this time because we already had the Saber in hand, not the Pegasus. Same thing as before, making it immune to targeting effects and giving us a monster negate. MST popping the card. And this is what I mean, by the way, by one of its major downsides is back row removal. And that is, this card to negate is only... Oh, sorry, not this card to negate, but the other Utopia monsters to negate is only usable if it is equipped with a monster. Meaning, since it only searches for one monster, your end board will just be Utopia Ray with one card equipped to it. And if your opponent MSTs it and removes it, you just lose both your negates instantly. So if you had your monster on board equipped with a Pegasus, you can't negate the MST, so you lose the monster negate and the Pegasus, and you can no longer activate the negate of your new Utopia monster on board as well. So, very weak to back row removal. Alright, Cosmic Cyclone, removing his back row, reducing our life points even further to 1000. Meaning we can now summon out Utopia Ray. Utopia Ray, detaching as much material to reduce my opponent's attack by 1000 each time and reduce boost my attack by 500 each time. Also activating our skill, so we can change our Utopia, or changing our Ray out for the bigger Ray. Equipping the Leo arms from the extra deck, and equipping a Pegasus, and he's very dead. Alright. Final game. Alright. Forgot. Oh, this I was playing the Fluffles, is it? Frightfur, whichever one it's called. It was like a Dark Fusion variant. Alright, so Gagaga Sister, again searching for revenge. Pay 2000, summon Magician. Activate Revenge, bring it back. Make the levels equal. Summon the monster, make its level 5 as well. Summon out Ray. Search for our negate. And pass the turn. So 3800 and 2 negates on board. Summons Vendor, searching for his... drawing into a Dark Fusion. Tries to activate the Fluffle Dogs effect, we're going to negate that. And then he just passes the turn back because he has nothing else. But even if he did, we do have another monster negate on board anyway. Sister searching for Bolt. Swapping it out for a Utopia. Equipping the big card, and he'd had enough. Alright guys, that's going to do it for today's replays. I hope you guys enjoyed them. If you did, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. And hope to see you in the next one. Laters.
Hey, big brother, can I watch SpongeBob?
Shut up, Mokuba. I'm busy flagging YouTube videos to compensate for the fact that I have an extremely small penis.
Oh.